Alright, dude, we are live. What's up, guys? This is Dem Keys, and holy shit, I'm excited. Um, I've been doing a lot more terminal-based stuff, a lot more TUI-based stuff, and I've also been doing more research on how to move. Actually, I mean, I've moved most of my workflow over to terminal-based stuff. I'm I just need to build a proper terminal-based workflow for stuff like, for example, data science, something that I can achieve similar to what I was doing using Jupyter notebooks. It's not going to be the exact same thing, but if I'm able to achieve similar results, like being able to view images without too much of a hassle, then that's all that I need. So yeah, I've been doing some research on that. So far, here's where I'm at. Um, so I'm using Tmux and I'm using NeoVim, and within NeoVim, I'm doing all of my coding stuff. In this case, we're talking about Python specifically, but like I also do C Sharp and Rust coding. But again, in this case specifically, we're talking about um, C Sharp. No, C Sharp? No, Python. In this case, we are specifically talking about Python. So what I want to be able to do, it's going to be like bit by bit. I'm going to try and achieve this. Give me a second. I just realized that I forgot to open up my stream manager on my phone because the other screen that I'm currently, the other stream that I would otherwise be looking at, the other screen where I would have my task task manager, my stream manager. What is going on? I'm just mixing up my work. Okay, the other stream where I would have my stream manager open. Did I say the other stream? The other screen where I would have my stream manager open is currently busy. I'm going to stop focusing on the screen now because I'm just like mixing everything up. Okay, stream manager. And here we are. Okay, great. Awesome. Amazing. So, um, back to what I was saying. So I had this idea. Now, okay, for those of you who don't know, the way that Tmux works is you have your Tmux session. Within the Tmux session, you can have multiple windows, and each window being this, these things that I'm able to switch between. These are different windows, and each window can have multiple panes. And in each pane, you can have a separate shell running. So I've done something similar here where I have NeoVim running here on the left side. And then in the top right, we have another shell where I was displaying an image. And in the bottom right, also we have another shell. So my idea here is that I can use, let's say, 70 or 75% of the screen for the coding stuff, and then I can use the right side, a little bit of the right side, for displaying images. And this would work great for my data science or even for deep learning related stuff. Like if I ever need to display an image, I can display the image here. Now, real quick, something I need to do a little bit of research on. I'm just going to ask Gemini real quick rather than Googling it. Okay, Gemini is taking some time to. Oh shit, okay, my connection is getting overloaded. Yeah. So here's what we're gonna do. I also realize that I'm not supposed to just switch like that, switch the window like that. Anyways, okay, it's on my stream manager, so it's fine. Give me a second. I think I need to close my stream manager window. Actually, I think if I just pause this, I should be good. There might be something else that might be eating up my. I don't think there's anything else that would be eating up the. Um, that would be eating up the bandwidth. I think we should be good now. I've paused the stream. Actually, maybe I could just close the stream here. Yeah, we could just hide the player so it's not using up bandwidth, and I can have the player open elsewhere. And yeah, we should be good now, hopefully, I think. Okay, so I was gonna ask Gemini a question. So I'm using Tmux. I've split a window into multiple panes. Is there such a thing as temporarily expanding a pane and then shrinking it back to its original size? Yes, absolutely. Tmux has a fantastic feature specifically for this, often called zooming a pane. Okay, it's Ctrl+B and then Z. Okay, this will make the current pane expand to fill the entire window. To shrink it back to its original size and layout, simply press Ctrl+B and Z again. This is extremely useful for focusing on a specific task, viewing more content in a particular pane, and then quickly returning to the multi-pane layout. Yep, yep. You might see a Z indicator in your Tmux status line when a pane is zoomed in, if your status line is configured to show it. Okay, all right, awesome, amazing. So we're gonna try that here. Okay, let's switch here, and was it Ctrl+B and Z? There it is. Okay. So, okay, this is something that I'm super happy about, that I didn't even need to configure this thing. I mean, even the configuration is just it's like one line, I think. It's something about a pass through or something like that. I would have had to do that, but apparently other stuff that I put in the config file, I can show you guys the config file. It's right here. tmux.conf, I think. Yeah, this is the config file. Something else that I added here apparently did that, or maybe it's just like a default thing now. I'm not sure. Either way, I didn't need to do the pass-through thing. I'm able to run. So okay, just for context, I'm using something called the Kitty terminal, and Kitty has something called kittens. Kittens are little plugins that Kitty is supposed to work with, and one of the kittens is called iCat. It's essentially cat but for images, so you can use it to display images. The way you can use cat to display text from files, you can use iCat to display images. But Kitty uses its own graphics protocol, and that is how it's able to display these images. I don't know if iCat is maybe configured to use other protocols, if the Kitty graphics protocol is not available, because here's the thing. I'm using Kitty to SSH my into the machine that I'm running the Tmux session on, if that makes sense. I'm using Kitty to give me a second. Yeah, I'm using Kitty to SSH into. I'm actually using Kitty's own SSH kitten to SSH into another machine where the Tmux session is actually running. The Tmux session is not running on the machine that I'm using Kitty on, and because of this, I wasn't sure if iCat would work properly, because iCat is meant to display the stuff with either iCat or Kitty itself. It interacts with the display of like that machine locally, right? Or whatever the displaying mechanism is of that machine locally. I wasn't entirely sure if that mechanism is going to work over SSH. And after some research, even Gemini was saying that it wasn't going to work directly. You would need to enable the pass-through thing. And, well, turns out I don't have to do that, fortunately. I'm not sure exactly what is making it work. I'm gonna have to have a conversation with Gemini about this because there might be certain maybe Tmux has added support for it, or maybe iCat and Kitty are they're able to detect that, hey, so and so protocol needs to be used. And oh, there is another thing. I just remembered this. Um, yeah, I don't know if this is making a difference or not because yeah, no, I don't know if this is making a difference. Actually, no, it might be making a difference. Okay, here's the thing, right? Um, so when I run, there's one way to figure out if there's one way to figure out if this is actually making a difference or not. I'm gonna have to launch a new. Well, this is console. This is not the terminal window. I'm I'm just gonna switch to the BRB window real quick because I'm wondering if this is using the graphics protocol supported by console, which I believe is called Sixel. I'm not sure. I think it's Sixel. Console supports it out of the box without need for any explicit setup. I wonder if iCat is using that, but then I'm confused about how it is displaying it on both the screens. So like I'm SSH'd into this machine, right? The machine that I'm SSH'd from, I'm able to see the image there as well. And even the machine that I'm SSH'd into, I'm able to see the image there as well. So I'm curious about how this is working. Because of that, I kind of want to start up a terminal. I forgot what Ubuntu's basic terminal was. I think it's just terminal. I installed console on here separately because I kind of liked console a lot more. Because I'd been using console on Ubuntu Studio, and a bunch of the dev stuff that I was doing on there was, it was using console. Give me a second. Oh, there it is. Okay, okay. I can show you guys this. So this is what it looks like. So basically, the graphics protocol, whatever graphics protocol is being used, it's what tells the underlying system how to display the image. So it converts it into some form of some way that some format that the underlying system is gonna be able to understand in order to display things directly onto the screen. And Kitty uses its own graphics protocol for that, but other than Kitty's own graphics protocol, there's a bunch of others available as well. One of them is called Sixel, and console supports Sixel out of the box now. Um, Give me a second. Okay, so this is terminal. This is console. What is this? Oh, oh, you're kidding me. I just realized something that I made a mistake with. Okay, so I'm not running this inside console. Earlier, I had said that I was running on the remote machine. I was logged into the same Tmux session using console, but no, that's not true. I forgot I'm running Kitty here as well. Okay, so then now the only thing that I'm confused about, now I'm not confused about how it's displaying the image here on the on the remote machine where the Tmux session is running, I'm I'm confused about how it is, or I'm curious about how it is able to display it on the remote machine as well. Because again, based on the research that I'd done, it had, at the time when I did the research, it was explained to me that, okay, it's not going to be able to convey the messages that it needs to convey because the graphics protocol interacts directly with whatever the underlying system is. That doesn't necessarily translate very well over SSH. And that's kind of why you need the pass-through. But I think it was also mentioned that the pass-through thing wouldn't work. You know what? Okay, this is something I should keep in mind for later. Do I have just a second. I should open up my my mind map. Where did I place the mind map? Let me just check. In documents. Okay. What is it? HMM stream, I think. Stream mind map. Yeah, there it is. Cool. Great. So here, this is done. This is done. Though we do need to return to Visi data at some point later. Okay. Well, this is not today's stream. This is after stream. So after stream, how is iCat able to show the image on both the remote machine and the local machine? No. When using iCat in Tmux over SSH, how is iCat able to show the image on both the remote machine and the local machine, even without pass-through? Okay, save that, and let's go back to this. Amazing. So we do have our zoom option, which is great. I almost just killed the pane. You've got to be kidding me. Wait, that's interesting. So X is to kill the pane. I should keep that in mind. Wait, let's do it here. Kill window. Kill current window is Ctrl+B and ampersand. Okay. Okay. Let's just test that out real quick, I guess. Let's create a new window. And then do that. Kill window bash. Yes. Done. Okay. Great. I think something better than that would be, well, not necessarily better, but something that's a little more visual would be, what was it? This? Yeah. So this is one of the multiple menu plugins that I've installed. One of the other ones is a witch key version of well, it's a Tmux version of witch key. I could probably use this as well. This would probably have a kill option. Yeah, there it is. It's got a kill option. Yeah, great. I could probably just use this. Or I could also use this, which is yet another one of the menus with, you know, a bunch of useful shortcuts and stuff. Actually, I just remembered there was a reason why I didn't have this thing Yeah, I should be careful with this. Give me a second here. Okay, I'm just gonna. There was something with this that was a bit concerning. You do need to go through a little bit to get to it, but it's still concerning. There was, I think it was under extras. Oh yeah, it was this thing. There's a thing here that shows your public IP. And that is so stupid, dude. That is so dumb. In fact, I should check if if there's a way to turn that shit off. I definitely need to go into the plugins repo and check if there's a way to turn that off, because this is such a useful plugin, but it's got that menu item there, which this you go here and then you hit this, and then there's that public IP option, and I'm like, dude, why? Come on. I'm sure somebody has uses for it, but come on, dude. Anyways, so getting back to this. Now, for my data science workflow, I I had a conversation with Gemini about this, and I got some ideas. And after, a couple of the ideas, one that I did like was this workflow, because I decided on the layout that I like, which is this kind of a layout. But something I did want to, what was I saying? I decided a layout. I liked the layout. I was saying something about something I wanted to do. Well, okay. Anyways, what I kind of had in mind was a sort of workflow where I enter the code here and then run the code in, I don't know, either within this itself, within NeoVim itself, using something like this, for example, because you get like a terminal window here as well. Or I could use some kind of plugin to select blocks of code and then feed them into a REPL. And I found out that well, actually, there are a couple of plugins that let you do that. And one of them is something called Slime. And the great thing about Slime is that it has support for stuff like Tmux. So you can like send commands to Tmux to do stuff in different panes, even in different windows. So you can tell it to, for example, send so and so input to pane 1, pane 0 being the first one. You can send so and so input to pane 1 and then also press enter. So basically you can get it to simulate the input, including the enter press, in another pane. And that way you can have your results of the code be displayed. I don't know if the REPL exits after that or if it continues running. I don't remember. I believe you do need to have a REPL running, so it might be your responsibility to run the REPL. But yeah, you can get your results in that way. And another thing I wanted to do is be able to display the image in case if there's an image that needs to be displayed. I can have like a temp image O1 or something like that, and I can like display that image in this pane. Wait, how long does this let me move around? Oh, it just lets me keep going as long as I want. Okay, great, awesome. And then when I stop for a little bit, then I think there's an internal timer that runs out, and then it stops looking. That's convenient. I should keep that in mind, so that way I don't need to. I don't need to do this, because previously I was doing like, I would do like Control B and then this and then Control B and then that. So like if I need to like switch to any of the others, I can just like, yeah. Wait, this is interesting. Okay. Okay, great, great. I'm just I'm just observing patterns about this. Okay, so now what was I gonna do? Yeah, I was looking into this kind of workflow, and I was, of course, you know, having a conversation with Gemini about this. Um, just a second. Let me go to right. So, Slime is, by the way, this is the plugin. I even opened the thing up here. Now it mentions that this is a plugin for Vim, and I'm hoping that it works in NeoVim as well. So here's the thing. Okay, the target contains a REPL. Yeah, grab some text and send it to a target. This is the basic working of the thing. So you grab some text and send it to a target. Um, the target contains a REPL. So in this case, the target would be either a window or a pane. Eventually, it's going to end up in a pane because a window has a pane. Like a window in Tmux does have a pane, and within that pane, that's where your shell is running. What was I saying? Sorry, I zoned out. Okay, yeah. So yeah, in this case, the target is going to be one of the panes. Um, if you can type text into it, then Vim Slime can send text to it. Okay, cool, cool. Why do this? Because you want the benefits of a REPL and the benefits of using Vim. That makes sense. Yeah, that's what I want. Targets. Configure Vim Slime for your desired target. Um, let G Slime equals okay. Or as a buffer level override. Oh, this has to do with like your current terminal, I guess. Wait, but no. Within Tmux also you're running multiple. Okay, I don't know. I'll look into that later. If not explicitly configured, it defaults to screen. Okay, many targets are supported. Check their documentation for details. Okay, so it's good to know that Kitty is supported here as well. In Kitty, though, I don't know. No, yeah, I think Kitty also has like a windowing system. Yeah, yeah, it does. It has a thing where you can like split the window. So I can probably reproduce this exact window layout in Kitty as well. And then there I can configure on the remote machine, well, on the machine that I'm currently SSHing from. If I'm ever doing data science stuff there, I can configure that machine's Vim Slime plugin to use Kitty instead of Tmux. Okay. Um, installation. Use your favorite package manager or use Vim's built-in package support. Cool. Great. Usage. Put your cursor over the text you want to send and type, and then hit Control C at the same, no, the same as Slime. I need to look into exactly what Slime is or was, because like this is supposed to give you similar functionality to something called slime. I don't know what slime actually was. Hold on. Let me Google that. Yeah, here it is. Okay. So I'm currently learning about something called Vim Slime. I'm wondering what exactly is slime, is or was slime. Also, the Vim Slime plugin repo mentions that it's for Vim. Will it also work in nvim? I've been told that yes, it will also work in nvim, but like I'm still asking the question. Let's break down what slime and vim slime are, and then address the NeoVim compatibility. Slime stands for Superior Lisp Interaction Mode for Emacs. Oh, okay. Emacs is another code editor. Well, another text editor, which I think you can also turn into a code editor. I think. I'm not sure. Hold on. Let me wait. No, I don't wanna give out wrong information. Let me confirm. I think Emacs is also terminal based. Is a highly okay, Emacs is a highly customizable, extensible text editor known for its powerful features and the large community that is developed around it. It's often described as more than just a text editor, with capabilities extending to being a platform for building text-based applications and even an operating system in some. That's crazy. Holy shit! What? Emacs is particularly renowned for its extensibility through Emacs Lisp, allowing users to customize virtually every aspect of the editor. Emacs has a long history with the most widely used version, GNU Emacs, having been developed by Richard Stallman in in the early 1980s. Beyond text editing, Emacs is not just a text editor. It can be used as a platform for creating text-based applications, managing files, interacting with the internet, and more. That is insane, dude. Holy shit. Okay, yeah, so I'm assuming this is all through plugins, but like apparently this application can be customized and extended using plugins to the point that you are able to use it for many other things. While Emacs is powerful, its older origins mean that some aspects of its interface and technology may feel different from modern conventions. GNU Emacs, the primary version of Emacs used in use today, is GNU Emacs, which is part of the GNU project. That's crazy. Hell yeah, dude. Cool. Great. Awesome. So I'm gonna continue reading this. Maybe at some point later I'll look into Emacs. I've already spent too much time diving into the NeoVim ecosystem. I don't want to spend more time diving into Emacs because then I'm just not gonna get any of my work done. Okay. Um, it's an Emacs mode, a plugin or extension for the Emacs text editor specifically designed to provide a rich interactive development environment for common Lisp applications. Interactive programming, tight integration, okay. Two parts. It consists of a user interface written in Emacs Lisp and a server program written in Common Lisp. I like that the server program is called Swank. Okay, which communicates with the Emacs front end via a socket. In essence, Slime transformed Emacs into a powerful and interactive IDE for common Lisp, allowing developers to avoid constantly reloading their entire application after every small change. What is Vim Slime? Vim Slime is a Vim plugin that aims to bring some of the interactive development benefits of Slime to Vim. It's a more generic tool than Slime. While Slime is focused on Lisp and a deep integration, Vim Slime's primary function is to send selected code from your Vim buffer to an external REPL or terminal. It acts as a bridge, allowing you to edit code in Vim and then execute portions of it in a separate process, such as a Python REPL or a shell or a running program's interactive prompt. The core idea is to enable a send to REPL workflow, allowing for rapid iteration and testing without leaving your Vim editor or manually copying and pasting. Yes, that 100% helps. That definitely helps. I think I'm going to use that. Yeah, I think I'm going to use that. Yeah, I could set up like a different thing where so currently here what I'm doing is um I'm using these two windows which are on the right side, right? Each one of them can display text or an image, and if I ever need to zoom in, we have this. So we get this kind of thing. Um why was I saying this? I forgot. Oh yeah. So what I'm thinking is maybe I could set up a different, I don't know how much different it would be, but like yeah, maybe I could set up a thing. Let's try something here. Let's try to okay, so let's clear this up first. Then we can probably bring up that menu, handling window, split window. I don't know if this is gonna be, wait, what's under layouts? Even horizontal, main horizontal. Okay, all right. Oh yeah, okay. I forgot this was there as well. Right, so we can split on the right, and then we can split this. Um, oops, didn't mean to do that. Can I kill the current window? Yes, okay. Let's kill the current window. Oh God, I meant to kill the current pane. That's crazy. Holy shit. Okay, dude. Yeah, that was my mistake. So let's restart. Let's create a new thing here and split the window. Okay, split to the right. I need to see which window is currently in use because I need to select. Oh, okay. All right. So what I need to do is make sure that what's going on here? That's interesting. I didn't realize that it was going to show up in this way. But okay. Um, right. So if I have that selected, okay, let's try something. Okay. Wait, so what's the difference between splitting a window and splitting a pane then? Yeah, this is what I was trying to do. But then what does splitting the window do? I should ask. Okay. Real real quick, let's finish reading what this thing was saying. So will Vim Slime also work in NeoVim? Yes, Vim Slime is compatible with NeoVim. While the plugin repository explicitly mentions Vim, it has official support and documentation for NeoVim. You can configure, wait, hold on. While the plugin repository explicitly mentions Vim, it has official support and documentation for NeoVim. Okay, you can configure Vim Slime to send text to the NeoVim terminal buffer itself, or to other targets like Tmux, Screen, ZeLJ, or Kitty, which you might be using with NeoVim. Many NeoVim users successfully use Vim Slime to achieve an interactive development environment, an interactive development experience similar to what they might get with Emacs and Slime, but tailored for their preferred language and environment within NeoVim. Okay, great. I'm using Tmux. Is there a difference between splitting a window and splitting a pane? I thought splitting a window basically split the current pane into two panes. You've hit upon a common point of confusion for new Tmux users. While the effect often looks the same, there's a fundamental difference in how Tmux conceptualizes windows and panes. Therefore, how splitting them works. What? There's a fundamental difference in how Tmux conceptualizes windows and panes, and therefore how splitting them works. Okay, here's a breakdown. Sessions. Think of a session as a top level workspace. You can have multiple sessions running, each containing its own set of windows and panes. You can detach from a session, leaving all the processes running in the background, and reattach to it later. This is great for keeping different projects or tasks separate. Windows. A window in Tmux is like a tab in a web browser or a virtual desktop. Each window can have one or more panes. By default, when you create a new window, it starts with a single pane that occupies the entire window space. A pane is a rectangular subdivision within a window. Each pane runs its own separate shell or command. You can split a pane either horizontally or vertically. The difference in splitting, when you talk about splitting a window and splitting a pane, you're essentially talking about the same operations, the same operation in terms of its effect on the display. You're always splitting an existing pane into two panes. The confusion arises because the initial state, when you first create a Tmux session or a new window, it starts with a single pane. Okay. Command naming. The Tmux command for splitting is split window. This command is a bit misleading because it doesn't split the window itself into multiple windows. Instead, it splits the currently active pane within the current window into two panes. Okay, I should probably mention this thing. The reason I asked is because is because I'm using a menu plugin in Tmux. This plugin has an option to split, an option called split window, but it also has an option called split pane. Here's the confusing part, though. When I used Wait, let me describe the two scenarios. Scenario one. Use split window, choose right, so it splits to the right. Use split window again. Choose below, expecting the right pane to split, but instead a new wide pane gets created at the bottom, and the previous left and right panes are now occupying the top area. Okay, scenario two. Actually, did I test out a scenario two? I don't know. Hold on. Let's kill the window. This is kill pane. That's kill window. Okay, so now we'll create a new window, and then here we wanna go to pane and do split pane, right, and then split again below. Okay, in this case it did what I expected it to do. Right, let's create a new thing again and do window this time, split, okay, right, and then below. Okay, scenario two. Split window, okay, all right. Choose split pane. Actually, I just remembered one. Okay. The options menu is still open. Okay. The options menu is still open. Choose below. It creates it. No, it splits the right pane into two. So now the left pane is the biggest one, and there are two small panes on the right. This is an excellent observation and perfectly illustrates why the naming can be confusing, and why a plugin would offer both split window and split pane options, even though Tmux's core command is split window, which actually splits a pane. Let's break down what's likely happening with your plugin based on your scenarios. The plugin interpretation. It seems your plugin is using terms like split window and split pane to refer to two distinct strategies for splitting, even if both ultimately use variations of the Tmux split window command internally. The key difference likely lies in which pane is targeted for the split, or if a new window layout is being applied. Window layout, dude, I didn't think about that. Hold on. Right, so we have this, right? Can we, yeah, layouts, okay. Even horizontal. What the? Oh, okay. All right. Didn't mean to do that. Tiled. Okay. Tiled. How does it spread 3 evenly? Okay, it doesn't. All right. And then, of course, there's an option to rotate windows as well. Well, rotate panes. So here I should, yeah, I should remember that. Okay, where does move pane take us? To other windows. Okay, that's not what I'm trying to do. Split pane, layouts. Okay, all right. Even, horizontal, vertical. Okay, so this applies to all the panes, right? And then if we do tiled, we get this. Now, can we like move the pane? Well, no, moving the pane moves it there. There was a rotate option. I remember that because, okay, let's display something here. Okay. Um, okay, let's just do, yeah, I guess let's open up. Why did this become even smaller? What just happened? Um, yeah, okay. Let's just do stuff. Let's just do this. Um, so here, right. So rotate through panes. That was control. Okay. All right. Suspend. So there, I believe there's a difference between rotating and swapping. Though I don't know if rotation means rotating the current selection or something else. Let's try that. Oh, okay, that's what rotating does. Yeah, okay. So Control+B O, it switches to this one, which I don't need that because I'm using the arrow keys instead. But then there's also Control+B Control+O, which rotates. All right. Okay. So we can kill this and, well, we can kill this as well. And now let's get back to this. So, right, what's running in the target pane? Vim Slime doesn't care what's running in so and so. Wait, hold on. Is this my previous thing? Oh yeah, this is the previous thing that I was looking at. Um, it's a Gemini conversation that I have. It's running on a different machine, so like you guys cannot see it. Well, because it's running on a different machine, so I can't really stream that over here. Um, which, by the way, I also found out that Gemini has a CLI version, so you can actually use Gemini within your terminal, and the capabilities of that Gemini go far beyond um, just giving just question and answers. Like it, because it's running within your machine, it does have, apparently it does also have access to like shell commands and stuff. So you could create an agent to do things on the machine. And at some point I do want to try that out because that seems like it would be a fun experiment, especially if you're able to like automate certain processes. Okay, so I was reading the thing. I was trying to understand how exactly does what do you call it? Wait, just a second. Right. So I was looking into. I was trying to understand exactly how Slime is doing this. How Slime knows that it has to send to so and so pane and it has to send to so and so program. I was more confused about how exactly it knows which program to send to, but apparently it doesn't. It's sending to specific targets. It's sending input to specific targets. And in the case of something like Tmux, which it has support for, you can specify which window to send to, and within that window, which pane to send to. So what it's going to do is it's going to make that pane active, and then it's going to simulate the input, and then it's also going to hit enter. I need to look into how it does this for blocks of code. Because if it's one line of code, then yeah, sure, I can understand sending that input. Sending the input, by the way, it would look something like this. Because Tmux itself does have commands for these things. Um, there. For a second, I was confused. I was like, what am I doing? Okay, so there's a thing called send keys. I think the T is required, and then there's this. I believe this is also required because this says the current window and pane one. Actually, in this case, it should be zero. Of so pane zero of the current window, and what we want to send is, in this case, let's say ABC. Look at that. It types in ABC. Okay, we can do something a little more complex as well. Let's try. Let's try Python 3.12, and then we do this. I forgot how the enter key is simulated. Give me a second. Let me see if I'm able to remember that. Actually, no, there was code here which was giving like examples. Tmux send key. Okay, CM and then carriage return. So CM is here and then carriage return. Yeah, no, I'm not. Hold on. Because there definitely was a way. Give me a second. Let me look at that code again. There's definitely, because it does simulate the key press, the enter key for you, but I'm not able to get that working right now. This is remapping. Okay. Is it just CM? I think it might be just CM. Let's try that. Okay, so it did that. It did that. I need to look into what exactly CM means here, because I know that CB means control B, and then the CR within the angle brackets, that's supposed to be carriage return, which is the enter key. But yeah, this is what I was talking about. Now, actually, let's see if it can do it quick enough that we are also able to exit out of. Oh, yeah, we can. Okay. All right. Let's also now do this. Yeah, look at that. So I'm going to clear this. There. That's an example. So it's basically sending the input to this pane, and then, or rather it's simulating the input in this pane, and then it's also simulating the enter key press. And apparently that's how it's sending this information to the REPL. I'm curious about how it works when you are sending either an entire file or blocks of code from a file, because that's usually multiple lines, right? Regardless whether it's a file or blocks of code, it's going to be multiple lines. So I'm curious about how it's sending multiple lines to the REPL. I should look into that at some point later. Now let's continue reading. Uh, how, okay, what's running, okay, right. Um, so Vim Slime doesn't care what is running, which, okay, that makes sense. It's sending it's just sending the input, and it's basically sending the key presses that we tell it to send. That's what it is. Okay. Um, okay, this is why you start IPython or just a regular shell in pane 1 before using Vim Slime. Vim Slime is simply automating the typing and hitting enter into the running process. Cool. So then another thing I was looking into is something called Iron nvim. Iron is apparently also Iron is something similar. It does provide well, it doesn't provide the REPL. You have to tell it where the REPL is, and then it launches that REPL, at least from my understanding. So you can use it to run your Python code from right within NeoVim. The REPL itself is not running in NeoVim. The plugin is going to send the code to the REPL, and then the REPL is going to process it and give the output to you. And that's how the plugin works basically. I don't remember where the output gets displayed. I'm gonna have to look into that. I'll have to like refresh my knowledge. I believe I did open up Iron over here. So this is that plugin. It stands for Interactive REPL over NeoVim. And here's a little window. Here's a little video showing. Oh God, don't! What are you doing? Why is that leading to? Uh, okay, whatever. Run this. I hope there's no audio. Okay. If I full screen this, what's that gonna look like on stream? Let me just check. I think you guys are able to see it. Yeah, you guys are able to see it. Okay, so define a function, define another function, and another function. Okay, cool. Oh wait, I just noticed it's there's a Python interpreter running here. I don't think this is a REPL. I think this is just the interpreter, and it is entering all of the information like this. All right, great. So that answers my question, because if it's able to do that with the interpreter, then it's probably also going to be able to do that with the REPL, and that works. Yeah, that's great. So then I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference whether it's running it in the REPL or in a REPL or in an interpreter, because both of them are able to, like, at least for this specific situation, both of them are able to hold states. You can define functions. You can define multi-line blocks of code in both of them. Now, if you are actually using the REPL, if you are actually typing into the REPL, then yeah, there's a difference in the experience between just a bare bones Python interpreter versus a Python REPL, something like IPython. Did I say Python REPL? No, what you're seeing in the Python interpreter is a REPL. No, each time I've been saying REPL, I meant IPython. So the difference between the Python interpreter REPL and the IPython REPL, it would be different. Like, you would have a difference in the experience between the two if you were actually coding in it. But if you're just sending input, or some program is sending the input on your behalf, I doubt there's going to be too much of a difference there. I do need to look into what the possible difference could be. Either way, I mean, even if I need to run IPython, that's not an issue. I can just create, I mean, either way, I'm going to be creating an environment, right? A virtual environment to run the the Python script in, and a virtual environment in which I can install all the packages that I need to. Either way, I'm going to be doing that, and IPython is just another package that would need to be installed if need be, if necessary at all. Though I should check, because I just mentioned that, yeah, in terms of like just sending code to it, it's not gonna make too much of a difference. However, I wonder if there could be a difference in the output and the way that things are displayed, the way that things are shown. I wonder if IPython would do a better job at that. Because in this case, like, I'm not controlling the REPL at all. I'm just sending, actually the program is sending input to it, and then, you know what? I was about to say the program is sending input to it and then receiving output from it. The program is not even receiving output from it. It's literally just sending input. So from there was a second thing that, like, there was a, so okay, we would have, let me show you guys. So this this is the nvim, the NeoVim window, right? And then this on the right side could be where our REPL is running. So we're going to send the input from here to here. It's going to execute, and then it's going to print out the output here, right? And then additionally, if I do want to display an image down here, I would need to create additionally, if I want to display an image down here, I would need to create a command similar to this, send keys and stuff like that. Hold on. What window are we on? I could do this. I wonder if it's going to switch. So, okay, I'm going to assume this is pane 2, right? And then we're going to run the ls command here. Okay. This is window 13, pane 2. So we're going to try this. Tmux. Wait, does it not need a session? Yeah, I think it needs a session, right? Would just send keys work? I don't know what it sent. I don't know where it's sent to. Okay, so it sends that. Oh, damn. Okay, all right. It sent that here. Right. So in this case, send keys this, and then window 13. I'm assuming on the left side of the colon, we're supposed to put the session number, and then on the right side would be the window number, and then here this, and then we'll do this. Now let's go back here. Yes, there you go. It's sent there. So I was right. Session 0, window 13, and that. And then we can, though I need to also figure out how how I can move the focus to that window. I need to make that a part of the thing as well. Oh, you know, yeah, I know how to do that. So we're doing this, right? And then we're gonna do control. Actually, hold on. What happens if I shift the focus first and then do this thing? So we'll do CB. Um, wait, let's do CBP. That didn't work. CBP. That didn't work. Because what I'm trying to simulate is this, basically shifting. Okay, let's try asking Gemini. Shit, dude, I just noticed the time. Dude, I started the stream late today, and that's completely on me. Dude, at some point, at some point soon, I was about to say later, at some point soon, we should definitely start working on the Kokoro TTS project that I had in mind. And dude, because that's going to involve multiple parts. I need to figure out if I want to do this using Onyx, which I very much want to try using Onyx for this. But yeah, I wanna figure out if I want to use Onyx for this or not. Because fortunately, Kokoro does provide you with steps to export the model to Onyx, which is great. It's amazing. So it allows me to, for example, if I wanted to set up like a Rust program and run an Onyx runtime in that, and then run this model in that Onyx runtime, I could do that if I wanted to. And I actually plan on doing that for the distributed version of the TTS app. I just need to. There's a ton of research I have to do for this, dude. Hold on. Where? Why do I have this one open? Okay, so let's go to documents and stream. Okay. So after stream, um, okay, Kokoro TTS. So there's a couple of things that I have to research. I have a separate list that I've maintained. Um, let's save it just in case. Um, so exporting PyTorch model to Onyx. We've done this before. We've also run it. So this should just be like refreshing the knowledge. Running Onyx model in Onyx runtime in Python. Then running Onyx model in Onyx runtime in Rust. And then also Rust multi-threading. Now the great thing about the Onyx runtime in Rust, which I found out about recently, is apparently it's thread safe, so you don't have to create multiple um, multiple instances of the Onyx runtime in each thread. You can just call this one instance from each thread, and it's not going to lead to any race conditions or anything. It's gonna dispatch the tasks accordingly. All you have to do is just call it. So you just need to have one instance running, and then internally it's going to handle all of the extra tasks that you give it. So that's actually one of the reasons why I'm that, and the heavy optimization that they do on the model and on like the various operations that are running, or rather I should say the heavy optimizations that they do in order to run these models more efficiently and more faster. That's also another reason why I want to use the Onyx runtime. But okay, give me a second. Just a minute. Okay, so that looks a little bare bones right now because that window is closed. But just a second. Man, okay. All right, you know what? We're gonna try something different today. I don't have much um, information to work off of. Who this person is, what the person does. We're just gonna go raid the person. This is a person called Deacon Play, and they are in the uh, science and technology. No, the co-working and studying category. And yeah, they're doing something. I don't know what they're doing. So we're just gonna go there. Okay, I'm gonna type in the raid command. Okay, so that's gonna be it for today's stream, dude. I'm really hoping that I'm able to stream again tomorrow. I got busy yesterday and the day before, so I just wasn't able to. But yeah, I'm really hoping that I'm able to stream again tomorrow. We've got some stuff to do. We've got some stuff to do, and the TTS has to be my top priority because I want to build the simple version and then the multi-threaded version, and then also the distributed version, which is going to use multiple machines. But I want to do the distributed version. Um, I want to involve Rust in the distributed version. I also want to see like how well the Onyx runtime on Python would handle multi-threading. I need to look into that. But yeah, okay, that's going to be it for today's stream. I hope you guys have a nice day, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.